What kind of life is truly worth living? Many people see life as a race with fixed stages: study, work, get married, have kids, retire, and only then, maybe, start truly living. This model reflects how much we value productivity. But is that the only way to live well? This question about the meaning of life is ancient. And today, we're going back over 2,000 years, straight to ancient Greece, where these reflections were everywhere. In Athens, there was a place called the Agora, a public square where merchants, artists, and philosophers met. It was there, in a part called Stoa Poikile, that Zeno of Citium began to develop what would become Stoicism. The name of the philosophy, by the way, comes from that word, stoa. Zeno was a wealthy merchant until, on a sea voyage, he lost everything in a storm. He was the only one who survived, and instead of giving up, he sought meaning through reason, trying to understand how to respond to what life throws at us. And that's how Stoicism was born, as a philosophy to deal with life's instability using reason, emotional balance, and virtue. But what does it mean to live with virtue? The structure of Stoicism. Stoicism is built on three pillars: ethics, logic, and physics. Not in the modern sense, but as ways to understand the world and our place in it. The Stoics believed the universe followed a perfect order, guided by cause and effect. Everything is connected, and most of what happens to us is outside our control. Their idea wasn't to ignore this, but to accept it wisely. There's a famous quote by Seneca that sums it up: "We suffer more in imagination than in reality, virtue and happiness." For the Stoics, happiness doesn't come from pleasure or achievements, but from living virtuous. They highlighted four main virtues: wisdom, to understand the world calmly and clearly; justice, to act with fairness and honesty; courage, to face what must be faced; temperance, to stay balanced and avoid excess. These virtues are like a compass to help us live well, even in hard times. The idea is to act according to human nature. We are different from animals or stones because we can think, reflect, and choose. Acting irrationally, then, would go against our very essence. On control and acceptance. For the Stoics, things like beauty, fame, wealth, or even illness and death are neutral. They are not good or bad by themselves. We are the ones who assign value to them. The goal is to develop a type of apathy, but in the original sense of the word, from the Greek apatheia, which means not being dominated by passion. It doesn't mean becoming numb, but learning to feel with balance, not letting ourselves be dragged by destructive emotions. And, above all, understanding what is and isn't under our control. You might not avoid a loss, but you can choose how you face it. You might not prevent an insult, but you can decide whether to respond with anger or calm. Stoicism in Rome. Over time, Stoicism spread and became influential in Rome. Three names stand out: Seneca, Epictetus, and Marcus Aurelius. Seneca was a powerful advisor and wrote many letters even to comfort friends. But instead of saying things would get better, he'd say the opposite: prepare for the worst. That might sound harsh, but that's the point. If you're ready to face difficulty, it has less power over you. Epictetus was a slave for many years, but became a master of philosophy. He didn't write anything himself. His students recorded his teachings. Marcus Aurelius, Emperor of Rome, wrote the famous book Meditations, reflecting on how to stay steady through wars and hard decisions. All three faced extreme challenges, and that's what gave strength to their ideas. Death as part of life. Of all Stoic themes, death may be the most central dot. It was seen not as an enemy, but as an inseparable part of life, something that gives value to the time we have. Seneca said, "To live is to learn how to die." For him, life was a loan from the universe, and when it's claimed back, we should return it without despair. His biggest criticism was that we live as if we're immortal, putting off plans, feelings, desires, as if we had endless time. Only when something slips away do we remember how fragile we are. But life isn't short. We make it short by wasting time on what we can't control. So, what does all this have to do with us today? Stoicism was born in a time with no internet, no social media, no daily chaos like ours. Yet, strangely, the questions those thinkers asked are the same ones we ask now. How to live well, how to handle the unexpected, how to find balance, Maybe the answer is still in the ideas born in the heart of ancient Athens. And maybe, in the end, living well is knowing what's truly worth feeling, thinking, and doing, and what's only stealing our peace. And you, what do you think makes life truly worth living? Leave a comment below. I'd love to hear your thoughts on all of this. Thank you so much for staying with me until the end. See you next time.